Hi, everyone. It's me, Dr. Stacy Betancourt, with another edition of Making Sense with Dr. Stacy. Now, today we're going to talk about processing hurt. And what that means is someone who has dealt with either generational trauma, self trauma, physical abuse, verbal abuse. Now, these are topics that will come up in this conversation today. And if you are someone who is currently in a situation that is unhealthy, unstable, damaging to yourself in any way, I'm going to put my email address below. Please email me so that I can provide you the correct assistance in the geographical area where you live. Okay. So please understand that there's help out there and you deserve it. So please consider it, especially if you're not in a safe situation. But nobody deserves to be hurt physically or emotionally at all. Okay. So, with that being said, what I'm going with here is the idea that kids say sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And my feeling is try saying that to someone who has been through years of verbal abuse. And I don't want to give the impression that one form of abuse is acceptable over another. Let me be very clear about this. No one has the right to hurt someone else intentionally. Now, we all make mistakes. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone who is has learned how to control somebody else by verbally hurting them, calling them names, um, treating them badly. There's so much to it. Accusing people, doing things that they know they're doing it on purpose. The passive aggressive behavior, they're doing it purposely so that they can get you to do what they want. And this would have to be a time that you're no longer in contact with this person, but you're still carrying all the hurt that came with that person. So the thing is what I'm talking about today is hurt that you've been holding on to for a long time. And I don't recommend you going down this journey by yourself, even if it has been years and years. You really need to think about having a professional of some sort, a certified coach who can handle trauma, who has been certified or trained in trauma, or you are someone who is just kind of having trouble with some of it. And where I'm going with all of this is the idea that your hurt doesn't have to be profound and it doesn't have to be big, but if it's constant, it can really back up on you. For an example, growing up in the home that I grew up in, we were always guilty or accused of doing something when we didn't even do it. It wasn't even we weren't it wouldn't have even been possible, but we were handed consequences. And some of those consequences were physical, but they were also very verbally abusive. And the thing is that even though I no longer have connection with the individual who did this, it still becomes a trigger for me. For example, if I'm accused of doing something that I didn't do, it's it's an instantaneous reaction and it's not a positive one. And I've learned and I've really gone through a lot of process on my own to realize that number one, not every person is like who I grew up with. And number two, they may not be thinking about how they're forming their words. And number three, if they are trying to control me with that kind of behavior, then I need to retain my own control in order to address it properly. The first being, in my case, taking a quick step back and making sure I'm not reactive, but letting them know defending myself. That's not the case. I didn't do this. That's not part of who I did or am or anything. It's not me. If the person is trying to use this tactic in which to control me, and you can kind of get the sense if it seems to be the way they do things, you can approach them in a calm manner at a different time and let them know. I noticed that instead of asking the question, you're telling me that this is what I did wrong, rather than finding out if I was even involved. Now, at that point, if they are reactive or not willing to hear it, or they're defensive, then you have to make a decision. Is this person someone you want in your life, or do you need to make another change to push them out of your life? And even in a job situation, I've been in career situations where that's been the case. I've had very, very controlling bosses, and I've literally had to walk away. And I've talked about in my other videos, if you're working for someone like that, how do you walk away? And obviously still keep money in the bank. So that's something else. And if that's something that you're dealing with, let me know. We can talk about it. But, the thing is that it's important to not hold on to the resentment, and learning to let go, especially when the individual is no longer in your life. There's no way that they can harm you or enter or anything. It's learning what triggers you and learning how to deal with those in your own way, because you are in control of yourself. And don't ever give up control of yourself, because when we do that, then we're opening ourselves up for much more. So the thing is that you have to learn to let go after releasing the self-doubt. And that's whether you've addressed it. If you've addressed it with the individual, you might want to say, the approach really does put me on defense, because this is something that has been a trigger in my life. And if, again, they don't understand that, then this may not be a position or a place or a relationship that you need to be in. So those are things that you might need to think about. And again, if you need help, let me know. But the thing is that little by little, you have to learn to release the triggers that cause you pain, because all they're going to continue to do is bring you sadness. So this is a lot. This is a lot of information. And I'll probably pick up a little bit more of this next week. But for now, again, if you're in an emergency situation, please email me so I can get you the resources you need in your geographical area. If you need more help in processing these things, remember that I am here for you. I am certified in these types of topics. And if not me, please seek help from someone else, because getting help doesn't make you weak, it makes you smart. Okay? So think about all this. This was a lot packed into under 9 minutes. So I'm going to leave you for now with the wish that you have a great week. Remember to treat yourself with grace, because you deserve it. And part of that grace might be letting go of the tough stuff. So don't be afraid. Be kind to others, treat others with grace, because we don't know the journey that they're on. And remember that I will always be here for you. In fact, I'll be back on Sunday. So for now, this is another edition of Making Sense with Dr. Stacy, and I wish you all a great week. Take care, everyone.